thank you so much for joining us today. We have a fabulous session lined up for you as I'm joined by the lovely Marie from the Vienna Tourist Board. It's going to be a brilliant session, so please make sure you take plenty of notes, and should you have any questions throughout the session, if you just pop them in the chat function on Zoom. But first up, I just want to take you through some quick Jet2holidays updates, and I'm sure you'll have seen this already this morning, but our flash sale is back. So please make sure you get behind this. It's a fantastic campaign. Get promoting today, and a great way to do that is by checking out the Jet2holidays Media Library. If you head on over to the Media Library, which you can find on the Trade website under Marketing, you will see all of the assets associated with our flash sale. But also on the Media Library, we also have a dedicated album for you guys to promote city breaks. So after you've learned everything and anything about Vienna today, it'll be brilliant for you to jump on there and get some scheduled posts in for your social media about some beautiful holidays to Vienna. So I'm gonna let us get cracking with Vienna. So we fly to Vienna from 4 of our UK bases. So that's Birmingham, Leeds, Manchester and Newcastle. And I'm going to hand you over to the expert now. I'm going to hand you over to Marie to get started with her lovely presentation she's got for you all.
Fantastic. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And let's start with the presentation. Fantastic. So first things first, the most important thing, my name is Marie Polt. I'm the market manager at the Vienna Tourist Board for the UK. On the next slide, I have my contact details for you. So if I'm not covering a question you're having, or also in the future, please feel free to contact me via email, and I'm more than happy to help you. But yeah, let's just dive right in. The most common question I get nowadays is, what are the entry regulations when traveling to Austria, and what do you have to keep in mind when you're in Vienna? And since, I mean, basic question, are you able to enter Austria? The simple answer, if you're fully vaccinated, it is possible. It's no problem at all. It gets a bit more complicated if you have clients that are not vaccinated. I listed here some of the 3 most helpful resources in my opinion. The first of all is our website, b2bvienna.info, especially when it comes to rules and regulations while in Vienna. Then the website underneath is the website for the Ministry of Health. It has all the, all the official language, all the entry requirements. So that's your go-to resource if you have very specific question. And then the website of the Austrian Tourist Office, also covering mostly entry rules. And while you're in Vienna, currently you have to wear FFP2 masks when you're in public transportation. Also, they changed the entry requirements for restaurants, concerts, etc., to a so-called 2G rule. That means only vaccinated and recovered guests are currently allowed to dine in restaurants. But as I said, more on the websites. So Vienna, our location is just amazing. Jade covered all the connections from the UK to Vienna with Jet2com. When you arrive in Vienna, you're actually arriving at Vienna International Airport. It's a great airport. You see a picture of it on the next slide. It's easy to get around. It's, the ways are, basically it takes you 15 minutes to go from one gate to another. And if you have, if you ever need VIP treatment for a client, it's also possible to book that in advance as well. Once you arrive at the airport, to travel to, you have several ways to travel from the airport to the city. It's an easy connection. It's either you can take the train as in the picture, or you can take a cab. There are cabs that offer a fixed price, bus, rental cars, obviously. So there are numerous ways to go to the city. Some of you might also know the city airport train. That's the non-stop train that usually goes between the airport and the city center in 15 minutes. That is currently not running and is scheduled to operate again in spring 2022. There is also, there are a couple of new hotels that recently opened or are scheduled to open up in the next months and years. Recently opened the Hotel Motto and the Hotel Josephine, beautiful boutique hotels, as well as the Hampton by Hilton, Superbude, Zoku, Chess in the City. So that you can see really, you know, you would expect that COVID actually slowed tourism down in Vienna, but we're actually just getting started. And then there are a couple of exciting new hotels also opening up in 2022 and 2023. So before I start with all the upcoming season highlights, I just, you know, I'm a map person. I always like to kind of give everyone an orientation what I'm talking about. So if we look at the next slide, I highlighted some of the you know, major sites on this slide. So the yellow line actually is the Ring Boulevard. So everything inside the Ring Boulevard is the First District and the city center. The red church you can see is St. Stephen's Cathedral. That's actually the very center of Vienna. And then the yellow dots, you can see some of the sites in Vienna. A question I usually often get is, why should I send my clients to Vienna? And I usually say there are 6 major reasons to go to Vienna. The first one is its imperial heritage. You can really, due to the numerous palaces and palais in the city, you can still feel the history of the Habsburg Empire today. Then obviously Vienna is the world capital of music. So many classical, but not only classical concerts every single night. So you really get treated to beautiful music every single day in Vienna. It is the city of art, over 100 museums. You can find in the city, from big museums such as the Kunsthistorische Museum, which is actually my backdrop right now, to, you know, smaller, more quirky museums like the Snow Globe Museum or the Funeral Museum. We Austrians and Viennese have a culture of enjoyment, coffee houses, but also in Vienna, Vienna is a city that has significant wine growth within city limits. So you can actually drink beautiful Viennese wine and just, you know, enjoy your day. It is a city, actually 50% of Vienna is green space. So it's the perfect mixture between urban and green space. You don't have to leave the city to actually go hiking or cycling or even swimming. And then obviously all the seasonal offers. So Vienna is not a city you can enjoy only for, you know, a specific time. It's really a year-round destination. So one of the seasonal highlights is coming up, obviously, with the Christmas markets. But then we continue with the ball season to Easter markets. I mean, spring is just, everything comes alive. You can be outside, really enjoy the city. Summer, you can go swimming in the city and enjoy outdoor festivals. And then we go to fall again, where there's the wine harvest and the opera starts to play again, etc. So it's really, there's something to do all year round. So the reason why we are here today is what do we have in store for you the next coming weeks and months. And obviously, the most important one is the Christmas markets. So actually, I was when I was walking to work today, you could see they started putting up all the Christmas trees in front of the Christmas markets. So it's really, it starts to feel festive in the city. So I mean, there's so many Christmas markets in the city. It's hard to, don't get me wrong, it's hard to escape them. So, but I try to highlight some for you. So if you look at the next slide, you see the city map I showed you earlier. And now on the next one, I marked some of my favorite Christmas markets for you. Obviously, there are more, and all of them have their specialties, and I want to show you some of them. So the first one is probably the most, it's the largest one. It's the one in front of City Hall. You find numerous stands offering food, handcrafted goods. You can buy beautiful Christmas presents there, but also when you see on the here the picture on the left side, there's a winter wonderland where you can do fun activities. So that is the largest one. Then if we take a look on the next slide, that's the Christmas market in front of the Church of St. Charles. It's called Karlskirche. And this Christmas market is actually, it's a curated Christmas market. It only offers curated goods that are picked by experts and a kind of a jury. Only offers organic food, certified organic food, and they usually have fun activities for kids. So if you have friends traveling with children, that's a great Christmas market to go to. The next one is a little bit more, I would say, traditional. It's at the Freiung. It's in the city center of Vienna. This one actually dates back to 1772, so it has a rich and long history. And it's a little bit smaller, usually around 60 vendors offer food and handcrafted goods. And usually when people ask me where should they go and buy really authentic Christmas handicrafts, I usually send them there. If we look at the next one, the Spittleberg. The Spittleberg is usually very popular amongst the Viennese. It's not in the city center, so not inside the Ringstraße. It's a little bit further outside. But as you might know, I mean, the distances in Vienna are very close together. So to go from the city center to Spittleberg, even if you're walking, it would probably take you 20-25 minutes. If you take the subway, it's 5 or 10 minutes. So it's not that far away. And what I like about this Christmas market is you can see it in the picture. The Spittleberg is are narrow Biedermeier lanes, and you have the small little streets, and you have the Christmas stalls right in the streets, and they usually have great food and drinks, and as you can see in the picture, also handcrafted goods. When we look at Christmas markets in a stunning setting, Belvedere is actually one of the best ones. It's right in front of the Belvedere Castle, and it's just the scenery is gorgeous, and you can combine it actually with a visit to the museum. You know, you go through the museum, you look at the beautiful Klimt paintings, and then afterwards you just go outside, drink a mug of mulled wine, and enjoy your afternoon. Speaking of beautiful settings, this one is the Christmas market in front of Schönbrunn Palace. And this is as imperial as it gets. The Christmas, you have this beautiful backdrop of Schönbrunn Palace, and then the beautiful court in front of it. So you can, it's a beautiful Christmas market, also with the children's program. And a lot of things to do. Sometimes, these are all very traditional Christmas markets. If you look for something different, I highly recommend visiting the Christmas market at the Museumsquartier. The Museumsquartier has a Christmas market focused on design. There is an LED installation, and also a fun thing to do there is they have curling lanes. So if you're traveling with friends and families, it's a fun activity to do. Just make sure that you reserve your spot in advance. But obviously, there's much more to do than just the Christmas markets. So if you look at, for example, shopping, people ask me, okay, what can I bring? I'm traveling right before Christmas. What can I bring back to my loved ones? And there are different Viennese manufacturers that offer typical Viennese goods. So, for example, Christmas tree decorations made out of porcelain from Augarten. Or if you're like me, I'm a sweet tooth. I love the edible Christmas decorations. All the sweets. Café Demer, which is also situated in the city center. They usually make gingerbread stars, golden nuts, walnut marzipan, and you can just put them on the tree for eating. And if you like glass Christmas ornaments, Robert Comploy produces Christmas tree decorations made out of glass, and it's in the 7th district in Vienna. One specialty in Vienna is actually, and it's a fun fact to note, that the snow globe was invented in Vienna. In 1900, Erwin Perzi produced the first Viennese snow globe, and they're still around today. So I mentioned it before, I think. There is a snow globe museum even, and it's just a perfect souvenir from your Vienna trip. When we look further after Christmas, there is New Year's. There is the famous New Year's Eve concert at the Musikverein from the Wiener Philharmoniker, the Vienna Philharmonics, and it's just it's a great New Year's tradition, even if you don't get tickets for the actual concert, because it's really hard to get tickets. There's a lottery, and it's almost impossible, but just to watch it on TV is just a great tradition. And then if we look a little bit further, in January, February, there is gorgeous ball season taking place. I know with the COVID situation right now, a couple of balls have been cancelled, but a couple of balls are still scheduled to take place. So if you have clients or yourself want to visit a ball, just make sure that you keep an eye out on the ones you want to visit, because because there obviously things can change. But currently, for example, the ball for the coffee house owners, for example, is scheduled to take place. And the ball season is really Vienna. It's like, it's not only attending the ball, it's just the whole like the whole feeling around it is really special, because you know, you have to buy or rent a dress, or and you know, get hair, makeup, maybe take a waltzing lesson, so you can really do a nice package around attending a ball. And if you want to visit the open air, I call it the open air ballroom, between January and March, the place in front of the city hall actually transforms in a giant ice skating rink, which is always fun, a fun thing to do. One thing I would like to recommend to you, especially if we look at resources, please join the Vienna Experts Club International. Registration is for free. Here you find the link for sign up. It offers great free perks, especially if you as a travel advisor visit Vienna. But also we make sure that you get all the updated information when new hotels open up, new restaurants. We usually provide great information with our newsletters. So if you want to be updated on a regular basis, I highly recommend signing up for the Vienna Experts Club. And that was it in all shortness. Please find all our social media information on the right side. Again, my contact information. Please feel free to get in touch whenever you have a question. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you.